They say the average person makes over 35,000 decisions a day. But here's the twist. Most of those choices don't matter at all. Whether you swipe left, scroll endlessly, or rearrange your to-do list one more time, you're still stuck in the same cycle. Busy, overwhelmed, yet unfulfilled. And oddly, the more freedom we think we have, the more paralyzed we become by the noise. This isn't just fatigue. It's a quiet epidemic of meaningless abundance, where more options lead to less clarity, more connections create less depth, and more things leave you feeling emptier than ever. In this video, we're diving deep into essentialism, but not the buzzword kind. We're exploring it as the future-facing compass for a world that's drowning in distractions. You'll discover how extreme minimalism evolves when it meets purposeful choice, and how less but better isn't just a lifestyle, it's a survival tool. Stick with me, because the third principle we'll explore today could very well rewire the way you think about time, focus, and fulfillment forever. Everywhere you turn today, there's a promise of more. More features, more friends, more upgrades. And yet, this modern abundance hasn't made us happier. It's fragmented our attention, diluted our sense of self, and left us painfully unsure about what really matters. The irony is sharp. The freedom to choose from everything has become the very thing stealing our clarity. We have become curators of clutter, emotional, mental, digital, even aspirational clutter. What we often overlook is the cognitive toll of excess. The human brain wasn't designed to evaluate endless options all day. With every new app we install, every half-read article we save, and every opportunity we don't say no to, we are quietly handing over fragments of our energy to the trivial many. The result isn't just fatigue, it's a gradual erosion of identity. We become passengers in our own lives, dragged along by what's loudest, not what's truest. Essentialism begins at this breaking point, not as a rebellion, but as a remembering. It invites us to step back from the seductive noise of everything and return to the vital few. In a world where we can do anything, it forces us to ask, what is worth doing at all? And this is where the future of minimalism begins to shift. It's no longer just about less stuff in your drawer. It's about fewer decisions in your day, fewer yes given to shallow priorities, and fewer compromises to your inner compass. When we choose quality over quantity, we're not only choosing better outcomes, we're choosing a better process, a quieter one, a more aligned one. The kind of life where actions emerge not from pressure, but from purpose. Essentialism, then, is not just a filter. It is the architecture of a life built on deliberate simplicity. And in an age obsessed with more, that's becoming the boldest path forward. If the modern world praises the word yes, then essentialism quietly reveres the strength behind a thoughtful no. Not a harsh, dismissive no, but the kind rooted in self-respect. The kind that protects time, energy, and the sacred space where meaningful things grow. While minimalism trims possessions, essentialism trims obligations. It's not just about having fewer things. It's about carrying fewer emotional contracts. We live in a culture where availability is glorified. Answer quickly, reply instantly, show up always. But saying yes to everything is not generosity. It's dilution. Every yes pulls a thread from your focus, a drop from your energy, a beat from your inner rhythm. And over time, the fabric of your life begins to tear, not because of what you did, but because of what you didn't protect. Essentialism teaches us that clarity doesn't come from adding more. It comes from defending space, even when it feels uncomfortable. It's the quiet art of honoring your own limits. And in doing so, creating room for depth, for slow mornings that aren't interrupted by urgency, for projects that matter instead of noise that distracts, for conversations that don't rush toward a conclusion, but settle into understanding. There's a dignity in choosing deliberately. It's not glamorous, and it doesn't always look productive on the outside. But the inner architecture it creates is powerful. It gives shape to a life that doesn't feel like a juggling act, but like a single thread, tightly woven and strong. When you say no to the unnecessary, you're not closing doors. You're opening the ones that truly belong to you. And in that space, what enters your life is no longer random. It's chosen. Essentialism, at its core, is the discipline of protecting your focus like a living, breathing organism, one boundary at a time. Most people don't design their lives. They inherit them, piece by piece, commitment by commitment, until one day they look around and wonder why everything feels so suffocating. Essentialism isn't just about making better choices. It's about making space to breathe again and to ask the radical question we so often avoid. Does this life actually fit me? The modern rhythm is frantic by default. Schedules overlap. Notifications never stop. Even rest has become performative, measured by likes or streaks or data points. But when was the last time rest felt like rest? When was the last time silence didn't feel like an absence, but like a homecoming? To live as an essentialist is to consciously re-architect your days, not around busyness, but around meaning. It means intentionally leaving gaps in your calendar. It means choosing one project and giving it your full, undivided soul, rather than scattering yourself across a dozen half-baked goals. It means creating a life that aligns with your values, not just your ambitions. This doesn't require escaping to the mountains or abandoning all responsibility. It begins quietly, right where you are. It's in the decision to decline a meeting that adds no value. It's in the pause before you buy something, asking whether it truly serves your life or just fills a moment of boredom. It's in designing your physical and mental space to be calm by default, not chaotic by inheritance. And over time, this simplicity compounds. You begin to notice that clarity isn't found at the end of a productivity sprint. It's found in stillness, in space, in a day that has just enough breathing room to notice your own heartbeat. Essentialism doesn't just reduce the noise. It reorients the compass. It leads you not toward a perfect life, but toward a fitting life, one where your values, time, and presence all point in the same direction. That is the life that breathes. That is the life worth building. In a culture that glorifies multitasking, there's something quietly radical about doing just one thing and doing it with full presence. Essentialism doesn't chase variety for variety's sake. It values depth over breadth, immersion over distraction, and mastery over mediocrity. And this, perhaps more than anything, is where its true power lies. We've been taught that success comes from juggling as many balls as possible, as if busyness were a badge of honor. But the truth is, excellence rarely survives fragmentation. When your energy is pulled in 10 directions, nothing gets your best. Only fragments, flickers, surface-level engagement. And over time, even your passion fades under the weight of being too thinly spread. Essentialism offers a quieter route, one where you focus not on doing more things, but on doing fewer things better. It doesn't mean living small, it means living sharp. The musician who masters one instrument. The writer who crafts one paragraph with care instead of rushing to finish a chapter. The designer who clears the noise until only the essential lines remain. This discipline is not glamorous, but it is deeply fulfilling. It creates momentum not from speed, but from intention. To do one thing well is to reclaim your time, but also your attention, and more than that, your identity. Because in a world that constantly asks you to be everything to everyone, the most courageous act may be choosing to be excellent at what matters to you. And that clarity doesn't just change how you work, it changes how you live. Essentialism teaches that the reward for doing one thing with depth is not just success, it's peace. It's a sense of completion. It's the quiet confidence that you've honored your purpose instead of chasing someone else's. And when your life begins to reflect that kind of discipline, what once felt scattered begins to feel whole. There's a moment, quiet, almost imperceptible, when a person realizes that more is no longer the answer. It doesn't come with fanfare. It arrives subtly, perhaps on a slow walk home, in the stillness between tasks, or in the echo of another yes that should have been a no. Essentialism lives in that moment. It is the wisdom of knowing that a richer life isn't built by adding, but by refining. Less but better is not about shrinking life, it's about sharpening it. It's about moving away from the performance of success and toward the experience of meaning. This kind of living requires strength, not because it's hard to do more, but because it's hard to resist the pressure to do so. It's the wisdom of restraint in a world that equates noise with relevance and complexity with value. Extreme minimalism shows us how far we can go with less. Essentialism shows us how deeply we can go with intention. Together, they form a kind of inner architecture, not bare, but beautifully precise. Not hollow, but full of purpose. The minimalist removes clutter, the essentialist protects clarity. And that clarity becomes the seedbed of a life that makes sense. You begin to notice it in small ways. The one chair you love sitting in, the one book that speaks to your season of life, the one project you're finally able to complete because you stopped chasing 5 others. Life becomes less crowded, but also more alive. And in that stillness, you begin to feel something rare, enoughness. In choosing less but better, we step into the rarest kind of freedom. Not the ability to do anything, but the wisdom to do what truly matters. This is not simplification for its own sake. It's a philosophy of essence, of refinement, of crafting a life that reflects the deepest truth of who you are, not the loudest demand of the world outside. So much of modern life teaches us to chase, to acquire, to accumulate, to keep up. But essentialism offers a different kind of wealth. The kind found in stillness, in clarity, in choosing with care. It's not about living with nothing. It's about living with only what truly matters. In a world that's addicted to excess, this path may seem quiet, but it's the one that leads you home. If this message resonates with you, there's more waiting. Explore other playlists on this channel like Microtopia and The Hollow Era, where we dive deeper into creating space, meaning, and modern freedom through intentional living. Each video is crafted to help you build a life that's lighter, wiser, and finally, your own. Don't just watch. Begin.